Maria Garcia has been seeking therapy after being sexually abused by her father. Her mother was aware of the abuse but did not intervene, and the father is currently no longer in the home. Maria is now in her sixth session with her therapist, and they are working through some of her experiences since the trauma. Hi, Maria. It's so nice to see you today.
Hi, it's nice to see you too.
So, tell me a little bit about how your week has been going.
Um, it's been all right. I've been doing the entries on my diary card, and we talked about last time.
Well, that's great. We can go over that throughout the session, along with anything else you would like to talk about.
Okay, that sounds good.
So, how do you feel about the diary cards so far?
Um, I think they've been helping me out. It just it lets me know when I get upset or angry, and then but then I kind of make myself control it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're beginning to understand your emotions and learning to do away with the negative feelings and thoughts. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. But I still get mad when I think about what my dad did to me and how my mom didn't protect me through all of that. I feel like there's no one in my life that I can really trust. So um, I just try really hard not to think about it.
I understand. So, from what I'm hearing, it seems like you tend to get upset when things remind you of what happened with your father and your mother not intervening and having trouble not being able to trust anyone. However, I think it's important to remember that mindfulness practice is not about forcing your mind to stay focused, but rather about noticing when your mind is distracted by these negative thoughts, emotions, sounds, or other sensations, and then gently bringing your mind back.
Yep, you're right. I get that now that I'm sitting here with you and talking about this stuff, but at the time I don't. It's just at the time I don't think about the consequences.
Well, tell me more about what you mean about the consequences.
Well, I got in trouble for kissing a boy at school, and I was hugging my PE teacher, and he told me not to do that, and I don't understand why I would get in trouble for that. Like that's not bad.
Well, sometimes we don't think about the consequences of our actions for ourselves and the people we're interacting with. When we get angry or upset, we expect for things to go our way. But in a calmer moment, when things calm down, and moments later, we realize that getting what we want is less important than getting in trouble or maintaining those relationships.
Well, like I said, I mean, I think that the diary cards have been helping me. I want to be able to control my anger when I think about what happened to me, and just be able to fix my relationship with my mom again. I mean, but in order to do that, I need to get rid of these bad thoughts that seem to constantly drag me down and make me so angry. Like I'm so mad at her. Besides the diary cards, have you tried any other exercises?
No, not really, but I'd be interested in trying some.
Okay. Well, let's start by talking about feelings. I have this chart here. How are you feeling today?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, looking at this chart, do you see any emotions on here that would define kind of how you're feeling today?
Um, that one, I guess.
That one? Okay. Well, this one is actually indifferent. And so indifferent is it's kind of in the middle. It's you don't really feel good, you don't really feel bad. Does that kind of describe how you're feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now switching and talking about when you got in trouble at school. How would you say you were feeling in that moment
Um,
based on these can you find a feeling on this chart that kind of shows how you're feeling?
that one.
Okay. Do you know what that one is?
Confused.
Confused. So I can see how that might be confusing. You thought you were being nice and then you got in trouble.
Yeah. The boy I kissed was my friend. My PE teacher. I just wanted to give him a hug because I really like him, but I got in trouble.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really confusing. So I want to try another exercise of practicing mindfulness. Um, it involves your breath, and your breath is the only thing that you can be certain you will always have for as long as you live. You can lose your leg, you can lose your arm, you can lose many things, but as long as you're alive, you have breath. So, focusing attention on your breath, do you want to practice an activity, a breathing activity?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to count to 10. Okay, and I want you to really focus on that breath.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, how do you feel?
Wow, I feel a lot better.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that you apply these exercises to your everyday life.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. I also think that it's important that you remember that your mom is feeling bad too through all of this.
That's true. I always have trouble remembering that, she's going through a lot too, especially with my dad being gone. Um, I don't know how to talk to her because right now we don't talk. So when I have the chance to talk to her, it just makes me upset, makes me resent her even more because I just get so angry.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to live with people you're having trouble getting along with.
I understand that now. I just wish things were easier. I wish my anger didn't get the best of me, and I wish there was just a way to make things better again. Like before, make things the way they were before my dad did what he did to me.
At times, the most helpful thing to do, even with extreme emotions, is just to sit with them. Sooner or later, they always go down. It may be difficult, but it can keep you out of trouble for now.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't really know what I want from my mom, and then other times I do, and then I just get so upset. I mean, I feel like if she was a good mother, then she should know what to do to help me.
Yeah, not knowing what you really want can be confusing and get in the way of being clear about what you're asking for.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I feel like whenever I do get a chance to be around my mom, I don't know how to talk to her, and it just makes me angry all over again.
Well, Maria, I think we've made a lot of progress so far in our sessions.
I think so, but it's taking so long for me to feel better. How long is this going to take?
Well, as long as you're willing to help better yourself and restore that relationship with your mom, then it's going to get better in time.
Thanks. I really needed to hear that.
So, do you feel like our session went well today?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, that's it for today, but I will see you next week. And remember to keep practicing your breathing exercises and also keep up with those diary entries.
Okay. Hi, Maria. I'm glad we're able to make it. You were able to make it today. How's your day going so far?
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Okay. Well, terrible is a very strong word. Do you want to tell me what happened that's making you have such a terrible day?
I mean, I'm just having a really bad day. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just having a bad day. It's just everything's terrible right now.
Okay. Well, I understand that sometimes it's hard to talk about things that have happened. How about we start by you just telling me how your day went, how it started, and what happened to make you feel so upset.
I mean, I'll try. I'm just so angry. Okay, so I woke up this morning thinking I'm gonna have a good day with my mom. She said she was gonna take me to school, and it was gonna be a good day. Like she even got up early to make breakfast for us. So I'm sitting in the kitchen, just I don't know, making sure that I have everything for my classes, and like she gets a phone call, and so she throws away the breakfast that she's making for us. She was gonna make eggs, which is my favorite, and she just throws it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? And so she starts yelling at me, and I'm just confused because I don't know what's going on. And she just tells me like, everything that happened with my dad was all my fault. and I destroyed my family, and she could never forgive me for that. And so that completely ruined my day. She told me to take the bus to school. She wasn't taking me anymore, and so that just made me even more upset. And so the whole way to school, like even in my classes, I couldn't concentrate. Like I didn't really feel like talking to my friends, so everybody thought that I was like angry at them and I had an attitude. And so that's all I thought about today was what happened this morning with my mom, her blaming me for everything. And like now I'm sitting here telling you that I'm having a horrible day, and it's all because of what she said.
Wow, Maria, I'm so sorry to hear that your mother said those things to you. I just want you to know that you are aware that what happened is not your fault. Can you think of anything that might have triggered your mom to say those things to you?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not my fault, and it's taking me a lot to get to that point, but I don't know, just hearing her say those things to me, after thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a good day with my mom, we're gonna spend some time together, and then having to hear all those awful things, and it just makes trying to better my relationship with her and having trust in her even harder. I don't know what that phone call was or what it did, but I asked her if she was okay, and she just blew up at me. And so I just don't know what happened for her to say those things to me, and I don't know. It just makes me so mad.
You seem really upset right now. Last time you were here, we looked at an emotion chart. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So, let's pull that out and you can kind of show me what you're feeling right now.
Well, angry. I already told you. Why aren't you listening to me?
Okay. So, if you had to rate your anger, um, let's look at this chart. Can you tell me where your anger would rate on this chart?
Um, it's, I guess, pretty severe right now. I'm just thinking about how she ruined my day. So, I've said that I don't know how many times already. Like, I'm angry.
Okay. Okay. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to bring your anger down, and so we can have a conversation. Okay. Do you remember our breathing techniques we practiced last time?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so let's try that. Okay. So I want you to think about a happy place, anywhere that makes you comfortable, anywhere that makes you happy, and just kind of think about that place and close your eyes. Okay, I'm gonna count to 10. I just want you to keep your eyes closed. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can open your eyes now. Do you feel any better?
A little bit.
Okay.
So, Maria, going back to that breathing exercise that we just finished, do you feel like it was useful in de escalating your anger that you were feeling from this morning?
Well, it helped a little bit. Yes, it
Okay.
did.
Okay, good, good. So, thinking about this morning, what were you thinking when all of this happened with your mom? Whenever she threw away your breakfast, when you became angry at her for being upset with you, what were you thinking?
Wow, I was thinking, why is she being so mean? Why did she say that to me? Why did she talk about me like that? Why did she only think about how what happened to her? It affected me too.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay.
dad abused me and not her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so can you think of any emotions that are related to that feeling?
Yeah, anger. I was really angry. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be her daughter. Like we never had a normal relationship.
Okay. So, Maria, I can tell that that's something that's affecting you right now, just talking about it. But just to be clear, has your mom ever stated to you directly that you're not good enough, or what?
No, she hasn't said it directly. I just don't feel good enough. Like I don't matter.
Okay. So if your mom has never said this to you directly, what has made you believe this? How have you come to that conclusion?
Because she ignores me. She doesn't talk to me. She just makes me feel like I'm invisible.
Okay, well, Maria, it seems like sometimes you are a little bit tough on yourself, and I think it's important that you become more aware of what's happened in your life and your behavior and your thoughts towards certain situations.
I just feel like this always happens to me. I'm tired of having these feelings of not being able to talk to my mom about things. Like all we do is argue and not talk at all. It's just awful. But I do think I blame myself for everything that happened. How would you feel about practicing reducing your feelings and your thoughts about anger towards your mother?
Yeah, I can do that, I guess.
I want to teach you about a new technique called self statement. A self statement is a positive statement that you say to yourself. What I'd like you to do is to write a self statement to counteract any negative thoughts you might have. Remember your self statements and repeat them back to yourself when you notice that little voice in your head that's telling you that you're not good enough. And in time, you'll create new thoughts, replacing the negative ones with the positive ones.
Okay. But can you give me an example of what you mean by self statement?
Sure, a self statement is the same thing as positive affirmations. For example, whenever you feel like you're not good enough for your mom, look in the mirror and say, I'm a good daughter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot more sense now. But do you think that that could like really help me?
Yes, it helps you to change the way you feel about yourself and makes your thoughts more positive.
Okay, all right. If you say so, then I think that that could um, probably work. I'm already actually feeling a little bit better about myself after this session, knowing that I am actually a good daughter and none of this is my fault.
That's great. That's exactly what the self statement is supposed to do. I'm sure you'll be able to process your anger and other thoughts you may have using this exercise. We will discuss this exercise and how it worked next week.
Okay, I hope so.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. That's good. This week, remember your self statements. What would your self statements be?
I am a good daughter. I'm a good daughter.
That's good.
I'm a good daughter.
Just remember to tell yourself that when you're feeling down. And don't forget your breathing techniques whenever you feel stressed.
Okay. My emotions are getting just even a little bit better than I was at the beginning.
Okay, that's good. See you next time, Maria.
Thank you.